Hello, welcome to Bryant Fitness Systems. Thank you for clicking on the video. And this video is all about what's happening in Israel and in the Far East at the minute. Now, I've got a client friend that lives in Sudan, and he's been in a war-torn country for a couple of years now. And all in the Far East, there seems to always be wars. Now, the thing that I don't understand is that these countries are very religious, indoctrinated countries. But yet, they're always at war with each other. They're always fighting each other. And yet, they're deeply religious. Now, one of the first 10 commandments in the Bible is thou shalt not kill. So why are they all killing each other? Is it the government causing the war, or is it the people? Now, I feel sorry for the general people, because these are the people that are going to lose their loved ones, their homes, maybe go through starvation, go through lots of horrible things that wars cause. But if it's Christian or Muslim against Jew, the Christian and Muslim and Jew should not be fighting in the first place. They should have 100% love for each other. If they're so into Jesus and so into the Bible or the Quran, it's all about loving each other, not about fighting each other. And this is one reason why I don't go to a church, because I see all the backstabbing, all the nastiness of it, and that's why I stay away, because I feel it's quite sad. And recently I was talking to a Christian guy. He see me walking down the road, and I had a pair of barefoot trainers on, and I had a weightlifting top on, and he said, "Oh, do you train?" And he was with 3 other guys, like all in their early 20s, early 30s. And I thought I was going to get into a fight because of these guys were coming towards me. So I was getting ready to have a big punch up. And lucky enough, they spoke to me really nicely, asked me, you into barefoot? Why is that? You're a big guy, what is it you do? And I explained that, I've been training for 30 odd years and love the gym, love working out. And that's what I do for a living. I get people in shape. I get them out of pain. I get them out of pain when nobody else has been able to do it, in special techniques that I've learned over 25 years. So they were really impressed with that. But then one guy said, "Did you know that we were Christians?" And this is what really winds me up, is that people seem to think that they need to give themselves a label. Yeah, I have a label as a personal trainer or a Czech practitioner because that's what I do for a living. But why should you have a label on what you believe in? Does that make sense? And when I said about other faiths, the Christian said, "Oh, that's a bad faith, that's another bad faith, that's another bad faith." And if I was to say to the same conversation with a Muslim, they would say the same thing. And if I was to say that to a Catholic, they would say the same thing. So the religion is not taught in love. If it was taught in love and compassion, everyone would accept each other for whatever belief that they have. And I've had a Muslim as a friend, I've had a Christian as a friend, I've had a person that was a Jehovah's Witness as a friend. And what I see in all of them is that they're critical of other religions. And that to me isn't real love of religion. Does that make sense? And that's why I think religion is a corporation or companies that don't pay any tax, for one. That really winds me up as well. How can they not pay tax when everyone else has to pay tax? And then on top of that, you need to pray 3-4 times a day. Or you need to do this. Or you can't say that. Or you can't do this. Or you can't do that. Or you can't do that. And so many rules and regulations that, like I said to the Christian guy, life is hard enough as it is without you trying to abide to these rules. Oh yeah, but the end of the world is coming. They said that in the 1800s when the Bible first came out. So for all these years they've been saying that the world is going to end, and it never has. Can you see my point? Yeah, we've had disasters happen around the world, and that's some of it's man's fault and some of it's just God's intervention or nature changing things. If you look at Chernobyl, when the Chernobyl bomb or the nuclear reactor exploded, it killed everything. But if you go there now, they showed footage of everything being 100% even more improved than what it was before. The same as when Thailand had a tsunami when I was there, but a different part of Thailand. The part that had the tsunami is brand new and really, really beautiful. So it shows how nature rejuvenates itself. Do you know what I mean? So I don't understand religion when they go, oh, Scott, because you slept with your girlfriend and you wasn't married, that's a sin. Why is it a sin? Oh, it's a sin in God's eyes. Okay, if it's a sin in God's eyes, is God your personal coach? Yeah, you speak to God every night and you pretend he speaks back to you. But does he really? Does that make sense? So during COVID, lots of people died in their 80s. And lots of people died during COVID, yeah? I can't remember the number, but a huge number of people died during COVID. And a lot of them were praying to God, hoping that God was going to save them when they were obese, when they wasn't exercising, when they were drinking alcohol all the time, when they had drug abuse, when they were addicted to drugs and other things. And I believe that if you're born into the world healthy and you've got health, it's a huge gift. And you should do everything in your power to keep that gift. But unfortunately, people will abuse drugs, drink, bad food, don't exercise. Oh, but I go to church, so I'm going to be saved. But you're going to be saved when you're dead, not when you're alive. Does that make sense? And as far as we know, people do come back, spirit-wise. But as far as we know, or as far as I know, you can comment down below, how many people have died, come back and told you what it's like the other side? Saying it's all sunshine and rainbows the other side. And like I said to a Jehovah's Witnesses that knocked on my door, that haven't knocked for years, which is great, because they'd always knock when I was doing something at home. So when I said to the Jehovah's Witness knocked on the door, and their pamphlet used to be this big, now it's this big. And the reason why, because it's all cost, and many people are turning their backs on religion, because they can see it doesn't really work. Does that make sense? So, with the Jehovah's Witness, their opening speech is, how's your life? Oh, my life's all right, ups and downs. And then they go, how would you like to have a life of no illness, no disease, no rape, no murder, no nothing? And I went, well, nobody would have anything to write about. Life would be extremely boring and we wouldn't have anything to talk about. And this isn't reality. And in parts of the Bible, I can't remember the verse, but in the verse of the Bible, God says, I'm the creator of light and dark. I'm the creator of all things good and evil. And this makes me laugh because when you hear of a person that's really evil, does horrible things, they get nicked from the police and they get let off. They never seem to go to prison. And they never seem to get caught for the badness that they're doing in their lives. And that's because all things, good and bad, are all related to God. So really, the paedophile isn't bad. What the paedophile is doing, he doesn't think it's bad because it's normal to him. Does that make sense? I'm not saying I'm agreeing with that. What I'm saying is that they think it's normal until they get caught and they get sent to prison or get beat up on the street or something like that. Does that make sense? So I believe that religion is a trap. If it wasn't a trap, Why has it caused all the most amount of war around the world? And why is it still causing wars around the world? And why is there so much greed? So much greed, it's like unbelievable. You know, I live a very quite a basic life to many of my friends or other people. I'm not so materialistic. You know, I enjoy the nice things in life, and I've learned that, you know, buying an expensive t-shirt is better than getting a cheap t-shirt. Eating organic food is better than eating highly processed food for health wise. Drinking distilled water is better than drinking bottled water. If it's coming out of a glass bottle, it's great, but if it's coming out of a plastic bottle, it's not great. Does that make sense? So what says that the Muslim faith is better than the Christian faith, and the Christian faith is better than the Jehovah's Witness faith, or the Roman Catholic faith is better than the Muslim faith, or the 10,000 religions that are practiced around the world are better than anybody? Because until somebody actually dies and comes back and say they've experienced God or Jesus, because there's supposed to be one, yeah, how can that be? I can't get my head around that. So I believe that religions are just money-making organisations. And if you look at the Queen or the royals, they were going to church every Sunday. Didn't save them, they still died. It's just a part of process of life. And I must admit, the Muslims that I know locally are very, very nice people. But don't talk about religion to them. Or I wouldn't anyway, you know what I mean? So I've got nothing against what anybody believes in, that's fine. But what I have something against is when they use it to go to war. They use it to kill people. They use it to murder people. They use it to make you feel inferior. They use it to make you think that, oh, I'm doing everything wrong. Does that make sense? I will help somebody in the street if I can. If I see somebody in need, I will try and help them. So in my view, I do everything I can. I pray once or twice a day. I meditate once a day or twice a day, depending on what my schedule is and stuff like that. But I'm not involved in any organised religions. A while ago I was, and I was sort of like trying to educate the younger guys about Buddha, Gandhi, and Yogananda and other religious holy people that are on the earth that done miraculous things like Osho. And I got shut down and got asked not to come anymore. Because they said everything that we do is all about Jesus. But there's been more than one person on the earth that has done wonderful things for humanity. So why would you just believe in the one thing? And then what I found is that anyone that I spoke to and said, did you research other religions before you got into this one? And they all say no. So why would you just stick to one thing? It's like reading one book on nutrition and thinking that's the Bible, when there's a gazillion books written on nutrition. Does that make sense? So I believe personally, if you're a good person, you're not evil to other people, you're not murdering, you're not being a paedophile, you're not going out your way to be evil to other people, then to me you're a spiritual person, because you're living a spiritual life by not being evil, not being nasty, and not being bad to other people. We all have choice in life. So I choose to eat organic food. I choose to work out 4 days a week. I choose to live a life where I'm looking after people and hopefully helping them to heal their mental, emotional, and physical being. So I'm really doing what a vicar does, but not just with words. And then the other thing is that what I don't understand is a lot of these religious people are fat, overweight, not in shape. So they're in my opinion, in the God body. So if you're in the God body and you're not looking after your God body, how can you have any relationship with God? If you have no relationship with your own health in your body. Does that make sense? So I really, really feel for the Jews, the Muslims, and any other religion that's in the Far East that is really going through it now. I send you all my love and compassion. Please don't kill each other. Please don't let your rage overtake your logical mind. And I know a lot of people, normal people, are going to be really, really scared because Israel have said they're going to do something that is going to be remembered for centuries. And that, to me, says to me that they're going to use a nuclear bomb or a nuclear weapon. And that will wipe everyone out, and no one will ever forget that. The same as we'll never forget Hiroshima, we'll never forget the Second World War or the First World War. But what have we learned from it? Absolutely fuck all, because we're still fighting and doing these things that we shouldn't be doing, in my opinion. Yeah, occasionally we get in arguments on the train or with our neighbours, or people wind us up the wrong way, but you don't want to go out your way and kill them and spend the rest of your life in prison. And this is what makes me really annoyed, is that, you know, in the UK now there's been 15 stabbings. All young people stabbing each other. What happened to a straight up fist fight? Why can't every area, every town, city have a boxing gym and a website where you got a beef with somebody at school or uni or wherever, and you put on there, I've got a beef with him, I'm offering him out to a fight. And you have a referee that opens up the gym, you can go in the gym and have a punch up, see who wins, then shake hands at the end of it. And because you've got a referee and a doctor on board and stuff like that, hopefully nothing bad will happen. Does that make sense? But at least your beef will be over with that person, and you won't think you need to stab them and end their life completely, when really you're ending their life, but you're ending your own life, because you're going to end up in prison for the rest of your life. Now, back in my day, being an Essex boy, growing up, if you had an argument with somebody, you'd go over the park and have a fight. Or you just wouldn't talk to that person. Does that make sense? I would never, ever, ever thought of getting our knife out on anybody. Ever. And the same as when I used to do my security work, I never carried anything. Ever. I just had these. Which I'd done lots of bag work, lots of heavy training in the gym. So hopefully I was fitter than the average. Yeah, I got my nose broken at one night, but the rest of the time I was fairly all right, and I was in some real dicky situations where I had to work on my instinct and protect myself, you know? So I hope this video gives you an insight into what I think of religion. I would never join a religion, ever. I believe that it's set up to turn people against each other and just make your life even more fucking difficult, you know? 10 commandments. How can you live against 10 commandments, you know? Yeah, thou shalt not steal, I agree with that, and thou shalt not kill, I agree with that. But whether we need the other 8, I'm not too sure. You know, and many people, from what you see in the media, have lost total faith in religion. Total faith in it. You know, and even the churches, you see them now outside the train stations and outside markets trying to pull people in, because they know that the bigger percentage are lost faith in religion because of the paedophilia, because as in the Bible it says, sheep's in wolf's clothing, and people using this, using the religion to try and control you in every aspect of your life. And I'm like, life is hard enough as it is. I don't need any of that. As long as I don't go and kill somebody, as long as I don't steal off somebody, as long as I don't go and sleep with somebody else's wife, I've got my own belief of what I believe in and how I want to run my life. I don't need some somebody from the Bible that died 800 or 1,000 years ago to tell me how to live my life now, when they're not even in the year 2023, in my opinion. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, please like, please share, and post your view down below, and then we can have a conversation. All right then, speak to you soon. Bye.